Hello everybody, and welcome to another live stream Friday. If you're new here, these live streams occur every Friday, pretty much, between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And basically it's, I review stuff, show you tutorials, answer questions, whatnot. This is just a live interaction. So there is a chat box that you guys can ask questions or comments, and I can interact live. So that being said, if you're not able to make it to those live stream Fridays, don't worry, they will always be re-uploaded. So roughly around 2 to 3 hours after the finish or the ending session, I will upload them entirely on YouTube for you to see. There is a new thing that I wanted to say, is that there is on Instagram the live option. So check out my links below. There is my Instagram name. You can go and follow me there, because I do live get ready with me, or I answer questions live there too. It is just a quicker way of doing this, like for stuff that I don't really want to upload, like just random things, or whatever, like vlogging, or just taking you along on a little piece of my day. So that being said, I'm gonna stop rambling. As you can see from the title, it is the Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette. I'll be reviewing that. Now, before you ask me like where I got it, I actually purchased it off Sephora. It was either Monday or Tuesday. Either one of them. What happened was that somehow they got few of them uploaded on Sephora, like maybe it was a glitch or whatever, and I was able to snatch one of those. So I bought it and I received it the next day, and here it is. I'm gonna try and show you the holographic effect. Like, it is a little bit hard because I don't have much light, but it, let's see if this helps. No, this just makes it worse. Let's see, does it show? No, it doesn't want to show at all. Let's see here. Well, here you can see a little bit, like now you can see there, but it is way more intense on other conditions, when there's more daylight, if you wish. But yeah, anyways, this is a totally gorgeous palette. I have a couple others that I'm going to be doing comparisons with. So I have one Clé de Peau luminizing face enhancer in shade 11, and I have the Anastasia Moonchild. So I'll be doing also a comparison between these two, and the similar shades. I'll swatch those side by side. Now, the first thing, I'm not sure if I should mention it's for or whatever, but it came kind of busted. Like, they are very sensitive pigments. I'm trying to think. The texture of this is comparable to the Kat Von D Metal Crush eyeshadows. You know, the single ones. I think they're called Metal Crush. I could be wrong, but they're very similar in that they're also as fragile. For example, I had mine that I use for highlighting, so it was the white one, and I took it with me on a trip, and it just completely busted on the plane. So I would assume that they are very similar formula. They feel also very similar. The pigmentation is very similar to those. Yeah, so let's get started. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, these are the shades. You have a pink Opal. You have the green Emerald. Let's see if I can do it that way. You have the Amethyst, which is a ultraviolet, Then you have the blue, which is Sapphire. The blue one is more of a turquoise blue, which I'm very pleased about because, for example, the ultraviolet, it looks a little bit blue. Like for me, it is a bluish tint. It is very similar to the MAC. Oh, let me grab the MAC one too. 1 second. So it is very similar to the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Soft Frost. So I'll be doing a swatch comparison with that one too. So without further ado, I'm gonna grab the Anastasia brush just for convenience. So let's start over here. I'm gonna start with the pink opal. So I'll grab just a little bit. Can you see that? And in this side, I'm gonna do the green one. Look at the pigmentation. Like I barely applied a little bit and you can see the green glow there. I apply a little bit more. Let's go all the way there. And in this side, I'm going to apply just a hair more. So the Opal one is more of a, how do you say, a soft finish. As you can see there, when I'm moving, you can see that opalescence. It is a soft finish. The green one is more intense, probably because, you know, my blush matches the undertone of the opal better than the green one. Now I'm gonna try a little bit of the Sapphire. I'm gonna use a little bit on my nose. There, you can see. That's the Sapphire. Let me add a little bit. You probably can see it here. So there it is. And the ultraviolet, I'm going to use it here. So can you see that hue? That's the ultraviolet. There is the Sapphire, so all on here. Here's the emerald and here's the opal. And I think they are really, really gorgeous. Let's do something for the lips. So maybe I'm going to use, well, I'm going to use the, look at the pigmentation. And I'm going to add just a tiny bit of Sapphire on the top, which is the blue. So keep in mind, I had just lightly dabbed it, so I haven't packed on anything. And you can see the pigmentation. It's very, very intense. It is more comparable to a pure pigment than the, like a traditional highlighter, if you wish. I don't know, it has just a very, very ethereal glow, which I'm totally in love with. I really, really, really like it. So let's see if I can show you better. So on my nose, I have the Sapphire, which is the blue one, and over here too. Over here, I have the emerald, which is the green one. And over here, I have the opal, which is the pink one. And over here, I have the amethyst, which is ultraviolet. And here I have the emerald with a little bit of the sapphire. So I personally really like it. It is, what could I say, the most wearable one. Like if you're someone that wears, you know, pink blushes and whatnot, the most wearable one is the opal. That's for sure. And the second most wearable one, I'm torn between the Sapphire and the Emerald. Like, both of them are very wearable, but I want to say that you might want to perhaps skip the blush if you want to really have an ethereal glow and just contour and then have the emerald highlighter. I want to say the least wearable because it looks more like a patch. Like, the formula is slightly different for the ultraviolet, which is this one. It is a little bit more dry than the others. Those three ones are creamy, whereas this one is a little bit stiffer. So I don't know. They're probably all very pretty. I'm just being picky here. So I'm gonna be doing the swatches, which I might think that you guys want to see that. I'm gonna try and pull my thing off so you can see. So we're gonna do the comparison with the Moonchild, which, for example, there is Blue Eyes, Pink Heart, and Lucky Clover, which are the most similar ones. But if you can see, look at the Moonchild. After you've used it couple times, not couple times, but for a little while, you get like this grittiness of it, which is something that I don't really like. At least it doesn't translate that beautifully. This one has more, like I said, the texture of their eyeshadows, which they don't become gritty no matter how long you've been using them. So yeah, anyways, the comparison, let's start with Blue Eyes. The closest thing to Blue Eyes on the Kat Von D palette is the Ultraviolet Amethyst, because this is a cool tone blue with some hint of violet undertones, which the blue Sapphire in Kat Von D is not actually that type of undertone. So I'm going to be using, look at the grittiness. It has sort of a texture to the powder, so there's that. So, and then I'm going to be grabbing with my finger. There, you can see it is much more smooth. There, this is more intense bluish violet. This one has a slightly more glitter, so it's a little bit more gritty. I want to say it's, I don't want to say cheaper looking, but that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see this one. It is more uneven. It has more texture, which might emphasize already, if you have texture skin, this might emphasize it more. So the Kat Von D is way smoother, and as you can see, the light reflection is very even with the Kat Von D, whereas the one from the Anastasia Moonchild palette, it's, you know, it's emphasizing some texture in my skin that I don't really have that much. So yeah, moving on, let's do Pink Heart, which looks very similar to the one in the Kat Von D. So this Pink Heart, there. This has a pinkish undertone. Now I'm grabbing Opal, which the only problem with Opal, look, is the fallout. Like, I'm not experiencing that kind of problems with the other shades, but with the Opal in the Kat Von D, it's very sensitive. So you have to be really careful how you grab it. There is Opal by Kat Von D. Let me first swipe this. There. So this one is Pink Heart. As you can see, the ones from the Moonchild have more of a white base and less of the duochrome pigment to it. So they're like a little bit more toned down, but also this one has, well, it is let me try and make this clear. The Moonchild Pink Heart, it is the best shade in terms of texture and evenness out of this palette. I want to say maybe Pink Heart and Star are the best ones, but they still have a texture, if you can see. And this is the Opal from the Kat Von D palette. It is much more even, and it has much more of that duochrome effect. Next, I'm going to be trying Lucky Clover, which is their green undertoned shade. So you can see. Here it is. It's actually pretty nice. And I love the green tone for neutralizing redness. So for example, I might use that on my neck, or I might use it if I have particularly very flushed cheeks and I want to use a highlighter, but I don't want something that's going to emphasize the redness, then I might use the Lucky Clover or a green highlighter. And then I'm going to be taking the green emerald. There, as you can see, again, very creamy. There. You can see the one from Kat Von D is almost radioactive in terms of the glow factor. Like, it's really, really intense. And it's much, 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 much more smooth. And finally, we have Blue Sapphire, which I don't have. Well, I'm going to be putting something next to it. But this is the Blue Sapphire by Kat Von D, and you can see it is more of a turquoise than the ultraviolet. I want to try the Blue Moon, but it's still like not comparable. As you can see, the Blue Moon is there, but it is closer to Blue Moon than it is to, well, it might be a mix between Blue Moon and the violet one. Now let me put a comparison of the MAC MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish sorry, in Soft Frost. This is very, very sheer coverage. So here it is. It is you have to really like pack it on. It is a very light coverage highlighter. And then let me put, just for comparison, the one from Clé de Peau, which is a sort of a mixture of colors, what it looks like. I'm going to be putting it over here. So here's the Clé de Peau one. It's nothing too outstanding. But yeah, anyways, here we have the MAC Skin Finish in Soft Frost. The MAC one is more of a blend between a violet and a pink. So it depends on how the light hits it. I mean, you can barely see it on the camera. It's hard to show. Then we have the Anastasia Blue Ice. Then we have the Kat Von D Amethyst, which is the ultraviolet color. Then we have the Anastasia Pink Heart and the Kat Von D Opal, which is pink. And then we have the Anastasia Lucky Clover and the Kat Von D Emerald, which is green. And we have here the Kat Von D Sapphire, which is blue. And here, for comparison, we have the Anastasia Blue Moon. And over here we have the Clé de Peau Luminizer shade 11. So for me, my favorite ones are definitely the green and the blue one, if you wish. They are so intense. They are so radioactive. I want to show you what it looks like when they're blended. So I'm going to just be blending those three. So here you go. There you go. So this is the blue one, so Sapphire from the Anastasia palette, and this is the emerald green one from the Kat Von D Sapphire blue, Kat Von D emerald green, Kat Von D Opal, which is pink, and Kat Von D Amethyst, which is ultraviolet. So yeah, those are the swatches for the palette. In terms of sizing, of course, like, it is pretty obvious that they are very different. And as I want to say, this shade is, well, a little bit less sturdy. Like, I tried to press it down so that it would stay on, but it's quite fragile. Let me show you the eyeshadow from the. So as you can see, this is what happened once it fell, and it is very similar in texture. Let me see. Here. It is very creamy. As you can see, it also has that glow, so it's very similar, the texture from her new highlighter palette. Now, if you don't want anything like this, or you might want something that's like the pink opal but more of a neutral color that's wearable, I would suggest getting the Kat Von D Metal Crush eyeshadow in Thunderstruck. You get a lot of product in here, so 2.8 grams, and it is the same type of a product. It's very creamy, very, very pigmented, but it is more of a neutral undertone, so it has more of a gold skin finish. Like, it is white, but it has that opalescence to it. It's very, very beautiful. I absolutely love this one. I use it quite often. And yeah, so just for the palette though, it is very, very gorgeous. Like, I really love this. It's very cool that there are like so many options in the colors. Like, you have 4 options that, well, you can pretty much do anything with it. It can be used as eyeshadow, which is very beautiful to brighten the eyes if you just want. If you have, for example, a lot of redness on your eyelids, you can use the green one on your eyelids and it will cancel out the redness. It will add a little bit of sparkle there, and just apply some mascara and you're good to go. Or you can use it as a highlighter on the face, or you can apply it as a lipstick, lip topper, whatever, over an eyeshadow, over a black eyeshadow base. There are so many options. And I want to re-show you quickly. So here I have the emerald, which is the green one, and on my Cupid's bow and over here I have the sapphire, which is the blue one, and over the bridge of my nose and on my forehead I also have the sapphire. Over here I have the green one. As you can see, it's pretty amazing. And then over here I have the opal. As you can see, it's the most, let's say, the most toned down from all of them. And over here I have the amethyst, which is the ultraviolet. So yeah, those are the colors in the Kat Von D. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to sound redundant. I showed you the swatches. That's what you get. On this one, on the Anastasia Moonchild palette, trying to figure out, you get 4.2 grams, and on the Kat Von D palette, actually you get a lot. Is it 4.2 grams? Oh no, sorry. In this one, yeah, I was like, that's weird. They can't have. You get 4.2 grams each one. So you have 6 by 4.2 grams. And over here, you get 1.53 grams each one of them. So it is way, way, way less quantity. But again, if you're just looking to accent something on your face, or you want something that's a little bit more wearable than the Anastasia Moonchild, which there are some shades that sorry, are very wearable, but the problem is the texture and the chunks of glitter in here that might make it not so wearable for daytime. You might want to check this one out. If you don't like any of these two options, but you want still a highlighter that would work on a fair skin, you should definitely check out the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish. They are a little bit, they have some that are very, very highlighted, pigmented type, and this one is the most subdued, the most toned down of them all. It's not necessarily a highlight glow that you get, it's just like a, okay, it's just like a finish that you get on your skin. And if you want something that's similar to the Kat Von D one, but you don't like the shadow, the colors in here because they might be too unnatural for you, check out her eyeshadow in shade Thunderstruck. You will probably like it very much. And if you want something that's more on the higher end, that has some kind of, you know, ethereal color to it, but you don't want the on your face type of highlighter, check out the Clé de Peau one, shade 11, which is what I tend to use under my eyes to set my concealer. So anyways, guys, that's been everything. I don't want to sound too redundant. That's my overall, well, my overall opinion is that this one is definitely worth it if you like unnatural highlighter colors, or if you want to experiment with your makeup. This is definitely a must-have. The Anastasia Moonchild, I like it for body highlighting, especially if you're very pale, if you're NCNW05, or basically if you wear white foundation. This is a very, very gorgeous body highlighter, like on your décolleté, on your arms, on your legs. So for that matter, you get a lot of amount in here, and the texture is not really as important in your body as it might be on your face. So body highlighter, face highlighter. That's just my opinion. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to check the links down below. I post swatches for very, very pale foundations and reviews and whatnot on my blog too. Don't forget to check out my Instagram so that you can hang around when I do the live streams over there. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll try. I'm not sure if I'm going to be available next Friday because my husband's off from work for Christmas, so I might do a live stream before that. I'm not so sure, or after that. So yeah, we'll see. Anyways, thank you very much for watching and have a good weekend. Bye.